having teenagers. It's hard to find a teenage young man anyway that would, I think, that would be, that can be that intuitive and know what his mom needs. And sometimes it is just a hug without saying anything. So that's great. And being able to separate, again, like I said, my separation is the travel time to work or home from work. And some people may think it sounds goofy, but one of the things that I do too is if I've had a very close connection with someone is sometimes I'll just say, if you are in a better place, can you, give me a sign or something.
Right.
And as they're dying, I'm very aware of if I'm in the room with them and a family member's there. We normally will play soft music or something that the person had liked. And just recently I had someone who did die, and it was a brother-sister. And the brother was staying with the sister during the time. He called me in the room, and the radio was going very softly. And when I went in the room, he said, Kim, I have to step out for a minute. And she was actively dying, taking her last breaths. And I paid very close attention to what was on the radio. And then he walked back in the room, shook his sister's leg, and said, it's okay, you can go. And at the very last beat of that song, her heart stopped.
Oh.
And I just looked up at him and I said, did you ever know that you were her hero? And the song on the radio was Wind Beneath My Wings. And it just fit so perfectly with what had gone on. And he had been there for her the whole time. And those kind of stories, I just feel so, that gives me closure to know that I was part of that.
Right,
I
right.
feel very honored that I was in the presence of that person when they took their last breaths, knowing that they were comfortable. And I take that home and share it and become emotional. Frequently, I find myself saying, as well as others, that being in the line of work I'm in has really changed my life. Have you found yourself saying that to anyone? And if you have, why do you feel it's changed your life, or how has it changed your life?
I used to be so afraid of dying, and I would talk about it with my family too. Now that I started working here in the nursing home, and the first time that I dealt with someone who passed away, it was a blessing for me to be there to hold their hand and to make them as comfortable as possible. I feel I am not afraid to pass away anymore. I am more spiritually in touch. I'm just not afraid of dying.
Right. I think that's, you accept death, more easily in a position like this, because you work with it so much. I mean, so you do accept it. I think the acceptance has gotten better with me.
And I guess I look at it as not just the way I view death. It's life itself. When I take a look at what I've really have learned from these patients and their families, I mean, it's more than just caregiving. They're sharing a lot of their life with me, and I've learned a little bit of something from everyone that I've cared for, be it good or bad, however I view it. And then I just take that knowledge, and I mean, we go through life continually learning, and we can still learn from someone who's dying and who's not, even at the point where they're not responsive anymore.
Right.
We learn, and then we pass that on to other people, and that's how I feel I've grown through caring with people, and I too am no longer afraid of death, but that kind of came along after my father had passed away. My fear was always that I wouldn't know anybody when I get to the other side. But now my dad's there, and my dogs, but now I have all these other extended family members, I call them.
And we also, we also try to remember, even when they're not responsive, that their hearing is still there, that they're still taking in all the things that you're saying, like you said, listening to the music or reading out of the Bible, and that they still do hear that.
Right. And while you're providing care,
right,
to not just go in there and talk conversation if you're doing something with somebody else in the room. That was a real hard part for me when I worked in a hospital setting, where it got to be too mechanical, where it was almost like you were just going in there to do to that patient, where in this kind of line of work we're doing for the patient, and we include them, which we should be doing in the hospitals, and other types of care also, but to let that person know that they're still here, and we appreciate them. And I mean, just down to the little things of, okay, I'm going to turn you now, or I'm going to do some oral care now, and just to let them know that we know that they're still there. It's very important.
I have told family members, go and talk to them. They hear you. You might not think
that they do.
They
but
do hear you.
Great response, because a lot of them will sit there almost like holding the vigil, as like they're already in the funeral home.
Right,
They sit very quiet.
Right.
And a lot of times families will say, I don't want to wake them up. I'm afraid of waking them up, and I have to. And great, I'm so glad to hear that you feel comfortable going in and saying, just go ahead, talk to them, say what you want to say. You're not going to disturb them. That's wonderful. That shows that you've got a lot of comfort at where you're at, too,
right.
with your job. And you kind of touched on this question here. How has working with the dying patient changed your views, if any, on death and dying itself? And you had commented that you're no longer afraid of death. Do either of you have any feelings on that?
I think you appreciate life more. And you try to learn to live your life to the fullest and take it day by day and not get so stressed out about such little things in life, which we all do. I appreciate life. It's precious.
Right. Living each day as if it were your last. I had commented to one of the nurses out there when I pulled in the parking lot. I just sat in my car for a little bit and just saw a woodpecker on the tree. And to me, I was just in awe because, these things go on around us every day.
Every day, right.
That we don't pay attention to. And that's one of the things that I'm very much for the patients I care for, is opening up the blinds in the morning and describing what it looks like outside. If they don't have the energy to open their eyes, they still can visualize in their brain. You can tell them it's a beautiful sunny day, or just describe what's out there, and it makes you appreciate, like you said, appreciate life that much more and take what you have and not take it so much for granted. Lastly, if you could, what kind of information or help could you give, helpful words of encouragement maybe, to new people coming new into this profession as healthcare assistants, anything positive to help get them through those rough times, like you had said, the first death?
Right.
I think that, I believe that a lot of what we talked about here today will help a lot of the new healthcare aides. But the first time that the new healthcare aide does experience a resident or a patient passing away, the way we won't be able to put their feelings in words. They will have to go through the experience, and how they deal with it will come within them.
Right. And don't be alone the first time. Have somebody, more experienced go with you in that. And help you getting them all ready and everything else like that.
Great. Well, I appreciate all the information that you've shared and the stories that you've shared. Keep doing the great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.